on a coach in the NBA level is a lot. I know because I remember there were many nights I wanted to know if Jeff Van Gundy had slept watching the Knicks back in the 90s. Every coach like that, but he looks like he's beaten down a little bit having to deal with everything that's gone on around him with this team with the Lakers, huh?
Yeah, he just looked like he got finished with a presidential term.
Yeah.
It looked heavy, man. Like
Remember how tan he was when he was
man.
assistant coach
Happy,
with the Warriors?
right?
Happy. Just
He had like the young Kennedy look.
Had a good
He
color to his
aged.
face.
Man.
Oh.
He's aged. I don't know why.
That Oval
Here's
Office.
LeBron after the game.
Dress.
What's going through your mind on that 15-2 run that Milwaukee ended the game with?
I mean, we had our chances. We broke down individually down the stretch defensively. Too many breakdowns, one-on-one breakdowns, and Bled, he brought him home.
How much or how would you describe the pressure that he and Brogdon put on your defense?
They're dual threats. Their ability to shoot the ball and drive at a high level, at a high clip is part of the reason why they're so good. Everybody, tends to talk about Giannis so much, but it's the supporting cast that he has. Those guys go out and do their job every single night. Obviously, he's Bled. Obviously, you see him get signed an extension today for the obvious reasons. Middleton being an all-star and Brogdon being a former rookie of the year, they've surrounded their team. Surrounded Giannis with a great cast.
Was there a difference in how they were playing towards the end of the game?
Say it again?
Was there a difference in how Milwaukee was playing toward the end of the game that sort of forced you guys into?
No, we turned the ball over a couple times, but we had some breakdowns in individual defense. We come out of timeout, we up 2. Or, B.I. goes to the free throw line, makes his 2 free throws, then we have a breakdown defensively, give up an and 1 to B.I., to Bled. We're still in the game, we up 2. We turn the ball over, but we're still up 2, and, allow Bled to get another and 1. He had 2 and 1s and a three-pointer, in the fourth quarter, but the 2 and 1s came off just breakdowns defensively.
Are there things that you take from this game that you feel like can propel you guys forward as you make this final run, or is it just strictly a results equation?
No, listen, this is win or lose. That's it. And obviously you want to build, but it's win or lose in that particular moment. So, I'm a guy who lives in the present. So tomorrow we got to be, great tomorrow versus Phoenix. We can't say, okay, we were great, for 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters versus Milwaukee. We can carry that to Phoenix. No, we can't do that. We got to be great against Phoenix and hit the restart button.
You mentioned the other day, Brandon being in this zone, you want him to stay there. What's impressed you most about how he's got there and been there?
That he stayed in it. He's found his groove. He's just found his niche. He can get anywhere on the floor. He can shoot over anybody with his length. He can attack versus anybody. And he's in a really, 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 really good zone, and I love everything about it.
Moves tightening the rotation. Obviously, you, Rondo, B.I. have big minutes tonight. It's the #1 team in the league you guys are playing, but, do you feel comfortable if these are the kind of minutes that you guys have to play to compete down the stretch?
I think every night is going to be somebody else. Depending on how the game is going, coach is going to make what he feels is best for the team to be successful. So it's not just about, the guys playing big minutes. We were out, Lance tonight. We've still been out without Zoe. So, those guys will have to play a little bit more minutes than they would usually have to. But I think coaching staff and Luke will make the proper, subs throughout the course of the game and see how the game is going.
What has your mindset individually been like on defense for the past few games?
I don't know. Why?
It seems you seem to have a level of intensity defensively.
No.
Not saying that you haven't before, but just.
I don't know. I just, try to do whatever it takes to help our team win, both defensively, offensively, hold myself accountable. Just trying to be in the right positions, in the right places, on both sides of the floor to try to just help us be successful. That's all.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, so there's LeBron James. The Lakers 3.5 out with 20 games to play. The win to the Bucks, Bledsoe 31, plus 70 mil. It's a pretty good day. Doesn't equal 100, but it's 101.
101.
So he'll take it. By the way, when we get to go through all the highlights, that wasn't the game of the night. Not the Lakers. Don't know.
Oh, I think I know what the game of the night was.
Yeah, it was here in the Trey TL, but it was Zach LaVine and the Bulls who made a difference. We'll also get a chance to talk about Kawhi, the closer for the Raptors. Don't know how long he's going to be in Toronto.
Really liked the way our group competed for most of that game. I thought, I thought we, against one of the best teams in the league, we really played well. And then, for some reason, we kind of fell apart at the end there. So we know we have to make play when we're playing the elite teams, any team. We have to take games, and we talk about it, and we have to step up and make plays. And I thought we did that for most of the night tonight, and then we did not to finish that. But we struggled. We talked about our individual defense pregame and how important it was going to be tonight. And I thought the one thing defensively we did a poor job of was Bledsoe and Brogdon. We couldn't keep them in front of us. But besides that, I thought our guys really got after it. That's a tough team to defend, and we were rotating, talking, gang rebounding for the most part, and unfortunately came up short.
Luke, you had really limited the turnovers I think finished with 9, but 3 of them came in those final couple minutes. So what did you see on those plays, and just generally, how did you get to that point?
Again, I've been very pleased with the way our team's playing, and turnovers have gotten a lot better the last 2 games. And especially down the stretch of a game, we got to take care of the ball, but we'll get better at it.
Look, just following up on Mike's question, specifically the one you guys had under their basket where Brogdon got the 3 coming out of timeout. What was the action and what occurred?
I'll take that responsibility. But we had drawn up. We called a timeout to get a play. I wanted to get something with LeBron coming downhill. I took for granted we'd get the ball in bounds. So, that's on me. But again, we have an extra timeout. We got to take it. We can't afford to turn that ball over right there. But they came up in the press, and we didn't get open. And at that point, we probably should have just called that last timeout. I know guys always want to save them, but it was a costly play in the game.
Luke, what factors were you considering when kind of selecting your closing group tonight with KCP and Rondo with the other starters? Well, I guess Rondo's a starter.
Yeah, Rondo started. KCP, I thought he had a really nice energy about him. He hit a couple jump shots. He's been one of our better perimeter defenders since we've had him. And like I said, we were struggling to keep Brogdon and Bledsoe in front of us. So, he's done a good job of guarding quick guards like that his whole career. And he seemed to have a really nice energy to start that fourth. So, he had kind of earned those minutes to help our team finish out the game.
Luke, no, over here, knowing what the Western Conference standings are and how many games are left, is there a sense that the clock is ticking for you guys, and does that even get addressed inside that room?
We're aware of it. We don't try to harp on it too much. I say all the time, the way that we're going to be at our best is if we stay present and stay what we, our mindset on what we're doing, practice games day by day, and that's how we'll get to where we want to get to. But the group is very aware of where we're at and what needs to happen.
Coach, because obviously the Bucks' best record in the NBA. Of course, at this stage of the season, you want to get as many wins as you can, but is there still a lot of things you can take away from this game going into the game tomorrow against Phoenix and pushing forward?
Yeah, I told our group I was very, very happy with the way we just competed and got after it for 3.5 quarters. And I said, that's very similar to how we played the New Orleans game last, 2 nights ago as well. If we continue to play like that and continue to get better, continue to take care of the ball, we're going to start winning a lot of games. That's one of the best teams in the league, and we had our chances. But yeah, we take away that this is how we have to come out and play every night.
Luke, three of your guys had 39 minutes or more tonight. Is that, with 20 games left, do you see that, being something that you go to more, leaning on some of those guys for more minutes more regularly?
Yeah, we're gonna shorten down the rotation a little bit, but we're gonna keep giving guys, chances out there to see if someone's having a night, and then that'll change from game to game. Hopefully we'll get Zoe back at some point, and he can be another, piece to help us. But we're shortening down the rotation for now.
Luke, Rondo had never even come close to attempting that many threes in his career. Was that a conversation you guys had about taking advantage of how they defend him, or just how did he end up taking 12 threes?
How they defended him, yeah. We talk whenever I speak with him. If it's the right shot, it's the right shot. Take it. And, whether you're open or not, that doesn't always determine whether it's the right shot. It's whether the pass comes to you in rhythm from penetration, if the ball's moved a little bit. We don't want him just dribbling down and shooting threes every time, even if he's wide open. But I thought most of the ones he took in the first half were good shots. They were swings or kickouts from teammates, and if he doesn't take that, what else are we going to get? The paint. There's 5 guys in the paint, and we feel very confident that he can knock those down. He makes them all the time in practice. He shoots. I don't know what his percentage is at right now, but earlier in the year he was leading our team in 3-point percentage. So, if they're good threes, we want them taking them.
Last question.
What do you think has clicked for Brandon over the last 7-8 games?
He just he works hard every day, and he's going to continue to get better and better and better. It's just to me, he's found a nice comfort zone, which happens to players that are really talented, and just takes time. And I think he's slowly found that he can get to his spots and get his shot off and not have to rush it and not have to try to overpower people. So I just think it's part of his natural progress.
Bucks are already 2-0 as they make the third stop on this 5-game voyage in LA to take on the Lakers. Bucks arrive on a 6-game win streak. They've won 18 of their last 20. Sean Powell from NBA.com has been on the Lakers beat in LA and joins us now. Let's talk Milwaukee first. You got the best team in the league that reportedly is about to add a future Hall of Famer in Pau Gasol to help out their bench. On paper, it makes perfect sense. In practical terms, what kind of a role does Gasol expect to have?
Well, it all depends on what he has left. He's 38 years old. Really didn't play that much in San Antonio this year. I know he was hurt. But I think his biggest role is really going to be as a mentor. I mean, here's a guy who's championship tested. He's been around, and he joins a Bucks team that really doesn't have much deep experience going through the playoffs. And by the way, I'm a little upset with Powell. He had a chance to go to Toronto and help his brother Mark out, win a championship, or at least contend. I mean, what did Mark, when they were little kids, did he steal the remote control from him or something like that? I don't understand that. But anyway, I just think it's for the Bucks. This is just another piece you want to bring in there. Maybe he can help defensively if they play the Sixers in the playoffs against Joel Embiid. At this point, I think Milwaukee just really wants to add depth and figure out what fits. And then Coach Mike Budenholzer will determine who's going to be in a rotation. And that may change depending on who they're going to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, hard to say how much he's going to play, but he's also been a pretty good three-point shooter over the last third of his career or so. Hey, LeBron James has apparently heard the criticism of his defense lately and has responded more or less, bring it on. Do you get the impression that the chatter has struck a nerve with the King?
I would say so, that and the combination of the fact that the Lakers are where they are. It'll be interesting to see how much he's going to play Giannis tonight, and, his defense is really going to be tested. But LeBron says he's comfortable being uncomfortable. Well, right now he's uncomfortable. I mean, the Lakers are, 3 games out of the final playoff spot. They've got a tough test tonight. They got to play the Clippers Monday, and the Clippers are fighting with them for the 8th spot. They've got Denver next week, and then they go on the road. So the Lakers right now are uncomfortable. I know they're coming off a big win, and I know they beat Houston last week, and so they tend to play decently against good teams. but their margin for error is very small right now. So we will see where LeBron is defensively, and even a bigger question, where is this team defensively? Because the Lakers haven't been all that great over the last month.
Sean Paul, you talked about LeBron James being comfortable, being uncomfortable, but I would love for you to talk about the young guys. Is it still a hangover from all the trade rumors? It seemed like they haven't got out of that rut. How's the psyche of the young guys on the Lakers team?
Smitty, that's a great question. That's what we're all trying to figure out because, as you know, it probably affects veterans a little less than it does young guys. And look, these guys want to be Lakers for a long time, and all of a sudden, their name is being bandied about, and they want to know what LeBron has had anything to do with it, if anything. So I think, from a psychological standpoint, the Laker locker room has been kind of shattered the last 3 weeks. But I think they don't have time to think about that right now. They've got to regroup, gather, figure out how they're going to get back into this playoff race. And Luke Walton is playing more small ball now. He's using LeBron James at center, Brandon Ingram on the front line, Kyle Kuzma, just to try to give a different look. And I don't know how long he's going to stick with that, but it worked well their last game against the Pelicans. It may work well against the Bucks because the Bucks don't bring a true center. Even though Brook Lopez is 7-footer, he plays more on the perimeter. I think right now they're just trying to mix things up, see who looks comfortable doing what, and just trying to figure out how they can get back into this thing.
And you mentioned Luke Walton playing small ball, and one of the Lakers' problems has been their defense, especially since LeBron James has come back. Their defense has suffered tremendously. Do you think they can continue to go out there with that small ball lineup? Because that means they won't have a last line of defense.
Exactly. And I think this is probably why it's on a game-by-game basis and just depending on who the opponent is. The one thing it does do, however, it gives them a little bit of quickness, maybe more so than when JaVale McGee is in there or Tyson Chandler's in there. So it's just a different look. I think Luke at this point is open to anything to see what's going to work for this team. It's strange because, they started the year with welcoming LeBron James, and then LeBron gets hurt, and so they have to regroup. And now LeBron's back, and they have to regroup again. And, of course, they don't have Lonzo Ball. So this team has really never been complete all season long. And that's why I think you see Luke Walton just throwing some experience just to see what sticks.
They've been 27th in defense since LeBron returned to the lineup. And you mentioned Lonzo. Lakers announced he is expected to be out another week or so. We're already about 5 weeks into the 4 to 6 week initial timeline they gave him because of the ankle injury. And we had the similar thing happen with LeBron when he had the groin injury in terms of it dragging on. Is there any concern that this could keep going a little further than anticipated?
Well, probably so, although they think Lonzo's pretty much I wouldn't say in the clear, but they can see some progress. With LeBron, it was just so unpredictable. And also with LeBron, you had to factor in his age. You don't really have to do that with Lonzo Ball. And also, you do have Rajon Rondo healthy and able to play the point, whereas before when LeBron is out, well, you just don't have another LeBron James. So I think as far as that's concerned, there is some optimism. They're going to re-examine him next week to see where he is. But when Lonzo's on the floor, number one, his court appearance is amazing. And also, he's a better defender than most people probably give him credit for. So you bring him back into the mix. You have another player on the floor who can see the floor and who can pass the ball, and also who can help defensively, particularly on the perimeter. And it can only help the Lakers at this point. Again, the season is winding down, and they really don't have much to lose as far as the margin for error is getting slim.
Sean Powell, the Lakers, can they still add somebody just the way Pau Gasol was added in Milwaukee? Is there anybody out there you think they're looking at a big that maybe can help them, or anybody in particular they've been rumored to maybe be able to add to their team?
Well, I don't think so. At least adding someone who can significantly help the team, I don't know. And also, it complicates matters when you bring someone in this late in the season. What role are they going to have? So I think the Lakers, as far as adding someone, that's going to have to wait until the summer. Of course, that's a big summer awaiting this team because you have a lot of questions. Number one, who can you bring in and who are you going to subtract? What this team looks like now can be completely different than the team we're going to see that starts training camp next year.
Sean Powell living the LA life and with us from NBA.com. Good to talk to you as always.
Anytime, guys.
He got a nice tan, doesn't he, Matt?
Looks
Nice
good.
tan.
Looks comfortable. Casual. Got the black shirt and the blazer going out there.
know.
Very Hollywood.
He got LA'd.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He's actually sitting in a director's chair. You can't see it from that shot, but.
My man, Sean Powell.
All right, Smitty.